I got this Tracon GPT130 heat trace control panel to check out. Apparently the display is not working, but before I do that, I got to talk to you guys about copyright. If you didn't go out and shoot the video, do not post it to your YouTube channel, because chances are it belongs to someone else and we don't take kindly to thieves.
Really? You steal my footage and you think you're going to get away with it? Learn with Logan. My footage. Here's mine. But the shot's the same. Let's let them play. 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 Here's mine. There's yours. Look. Change the music. The shots are the same. Go to the dunes. Go to the dunes. You steal my footage and you're going to get a copyright strike. And that's exactly what I'm about to do. I am going to file a copyright dispute for stealing my footage. Steal my footage, get a copyright strike. Get it? There's mine, and there's the one you copied. The original and the copy. It's too bad that you didn't think of this and go out and spend all the time and walk around Vegas to all hours of the night and shoot the signs like I did. I know you haven't had a lot of views. You've only got 275 views, but that's 275 views that I didn't get. And that's picking my pocket as far as I'm concerned. So enjoy your copyright strike there, Logan, because one's coming down right now.
So this is a control board for our heat tracer. I guess it monitors temperatures. And apparently the display has died on this one here. So we're just going to quickly pop this thing apart and just see if it's anything minor. I'm not going to spend a hell of a lot of time on this unit just because, well, it's not worth fixing. This came to me from the same guy that sent me the exit signs. So probably from the same buildings. It says the display has died. I'm just going to take a look at the unit itself and see if there's anything that jumps out at me. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. On this unit, I don't even know if he wants this thing back. He says it's still functional, but the display doesn't work. This appears to be an OLED type display. There it plugs in. Is this a plug-in type or is it soldered in? Are these headers that unplug? This might be soldered right down to the board. Looks like this header might be completely soldered down. It might be a connection problem. Looks to be an OLED display. I'll just try powering this unit up. See what it does. Well, the display lights. You can see it's an OLED screen because it's got severe burn-in. That's the problem with OLED, is that the screens burn, just like the OLED televisions. This one's just a white display, obviously, but it's the same technology. And things that stay the same all the time tend to get dark. As you can see here, the sensor temperature, but when it says sensor fail, the other letters, the other pixels that make up the letters are bright because they're never illuminated. I don't know what the problem with this is. He says the display doesn't work, but the board works, but the display doesn't work. Well, the display itself might just be worn out. I mean, it's certainly working, but you can certainly see that it does have dead pixels. But something like this is a non-repairable item. So I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know what was expected of me on this one. he just said check it out and see if you can figure out what's wrong with it. But I really can't figure out what's wrong with it because it's working. When I plug it in, it lights up. I don't see anything obvious. I didn't see any obvious connections or anything that looked to be bad. Although I couldn't actually look at the bottom side of the display because it's soldered down to the board without actually removing the actual module or the display from the board itself. It didn't appear that there was any bad connections along here. I couldn't see the circuitry in behind here. There is a plug under there as well, but I couldn't get to that because I'd have to actually unsolder the header and take it right off to check for anything under there. I mean, it certainly doesn't look to be a bad connection or anything on here. And again, these are not a serviceable panel. This is an organic LED. Like a lot of the cheap things that are being made today, they've moved away from LCD. I guess OLED are now cheaper to make for display panels than it is to make them out of LCD with a backlight. But yeah, this thing appears to be working. Run my fingers across the temperature sensor inputs and I can get some displays. Wet finger. If I hit menu, wherever menu is, let's just throw this thing back here so that I can see what buttons are what. I like this sticker here, for dry and damp locations only. Okay, so which one is it? I guess that means just don't put it out in the rain. It can be damp or dry. And I guess this is what holds it down. There's a couple of these push pins to hold it in place. Anyway, testing failed. Well, obviously it failed because there's nothing connected to it for monitoring anything. Sensor failure, ground fault, current failure, low temp. Edit settings, press enter. Control temperatures, high temperature, degrees, Fahrenheit, Celsius. Set point. This must be for like a freezer, I would think. More than likely that's what this is for, is to monitor a freezer temperature. So that if something goes above a certain temperature, it'll set an alarm. I would think that that's probably what it is. But you can probably set it for any temperature, or if something overheats, like in a server room or something, you could have it set so that an alarm would go off if it exceeded a high temperature or a low temperature. Part of an alarming system anyway, but I mean the display is working, so I don't know where the fault is on this. You just said the like for a freezer, for example, you could set it for -20 and it would go off at the high alert at whatever you set the high alert at. See, now I'm not getting the sensor failure because my wet finger is providing some feedback. Anyway, I don't know what to say on this thing. I'm just gonna let the fellow know. You'll see the video anyway, I'm sure, but this thing appears to be... The display is not dead, that's for sure, but it certainly is burning to the point where it might be hard to read, especially under bright lights, for example. That might be what he's saying, is that it's just hard to read because obviously the displays, when they get dark, are becoming more difficult to read. And that's just a characteristic of organic LED displays. My car charger, for example, has one, a small one, that displays the charge state, how much power I put in the car, what the temperature is, the AC voltage, how many amps is drawing, how many kilowatts I put in. And it's all nicely burned as well, because the numbers, of course, just change, but they're always in the same location, and you can see dark spots on it. As it's counting up, you'll see segments just like this, where some of the because it's a dot matrix display, some of them are brighter than others. The ones that stay on all the time, obviously, are dark, just like this. That's just the characteristics of OLED displays. OLED televisions are the same. OLED phones are the same. If I showed you my phone, there you go. If you look at my screen on my phone, it's exactly the same, right? It's got burn-in from the virtual keyboard and my icons. Same technology, organic LED. That's the way it is for OLED. Televisions do the same. All these new OLED TVs, if you leave something on the screen too long, like the logo for TV stations, for example, well, plasma did the same as well, right? Any of these displays that are based on phosphorus, which is what these are, they're phosphorus-based display. The OLED diode produces ultraviolet, which excites white phosphorus. That's how all these ones operate. And they all fall into the same category. Anyway, nothing really I can do on this thing. It was just sent to me to take a look at, so now you guys have seen it as well. Thanks for watching.